Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Angel Storm. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm talking to you about what happens when you talk about the narcissist, when there's gossip going on about the narcissist. A lot of narcissists will portray themselves as kind of unstoppable, unbeatable, and that nothing can bother them, that they are far above any kind of issue that might seem petty or something that's just beneath them. They'll try to put themselves above that, like, well, that might be what those people do, but I never do that, or, that's just gossip and I'm not part of it. And the words that they'll say to justify ignoring people who are speaking about them will sound correct. They know how to use the right words to make it seem as though exactly that's something that you don't need to pay attention to. That's something that's not important. It's beneath them to be paying attention to what other people are saying about them. This is how the narcissist will make it seem, and you'll reason that that's a healthy response, that makes sense that they would respond that way. And, good for them for being above that, and good for them for not taking that to heart, and good for them for not letting what other people think about them upset them. But the truth is, the narcissist is keeping a note of who is speaking about them and who is talking about them in a way to eventually sabotage or have some sort of revenge against that person or those people. The narcissist does not want people who are going to come too close to this very pretty facade that they have created, and they will do whatever is necessary to protect that image that they've created. And if this means that they need to destroy somebody who's talking about them, then they will absolutely do that. So while a narcissist will have this very bold face about everything that's happening, that it's not bothering them, that it's beneath them, they absolutely care about that. That's deeply damaging to their sense of security. And I'm not even going to say it's damaging to their ego. It's damaging to the security that they think they have built by creating this fake facade around them that protects them, that insulates them from even themselves, from even having to address issues that are true. So for normal people, gossip, of course, is damaging. It's not helpful. If somebody is talking about us behind our backs, that is something that is a negative, and of course that's true of any situation. However, what a narcissist usually isn't telling you is that the person who's speaking about the narcissist has actually already come to the narcissist to try to find a resolution, and there was nothing done with that issue, or the narcissist made that person feel as though it was their fault, or they did some sort of narcissistic tactic towards that person who tried to address the issue with them. So it's important that when you're dealing with a narcissist that you know and understand the difference between gossip and somebody trying to educate other people about what they've gone through, somebody who's looking for help and a solution to the problem that they are facing. The narcissist will treat this all and try to just lump this all together as gossip, as not helpful, as disparaging towards their character, and try to turn it around on the person who's bringing up the issue. But probably in most cases, what's actually happening is that person is saying the truth, and the narcissist doesn't want the truth to be known, or to have more supplies go towards that person than they have available for themselves to use and abuse. One of the things that I try to do on this channel is to educate people about not just their own narcissistic abuse, but how to share what they have gone through in ways that will help them connect with or reach their target audience. So when you're discussing the behaviors that you've seen or experienced with a narcissist, and you're trying to share this with your family, with your friends, with somebody who might potentially have the ability to help you, even a counselor or somebody trusted like that, it is very important that you understand that there's always the chance that the person that you're going to isn't going to believe you and may just see it as gossip, as, talking about somebody behind their back. And therefore, one of the things, I have a Life After Narcissism course that's available it's one of the playlists on my channel. In that course, I tell you to be aware of who you're speaking to. A lot of times you need to cut out third parties, even if they're close family members or if you've been friends with them for a long time, because they won't be able to understand what you are talking to them about, because the version of the narcissist that they have seen, it has been it's such a stark contrast. And so they're having their own cognitive dissonance, and they're trying to make sense of what you're saying versus what they've seen, and it just doesn't add up. And so for a lot of people, that's why it's important that you really know the person that you're going to be speaking about, the experiences that you've gone through with, because it can actually do more damage when you feel like you're speaking up but nobody is hearing you. And the flip side of this is also something that I speak about in my Life After Narcissism course, which is helping other people who have gone through what you have gone through, being an advocate for other people who have gone through abuse. And if somebody comes to you and is saying things about somebody that you don't know if that can be true, because you've only seen a certain version of that person in your interaction with them, it's important I talk a lot about discernment on this channel as well. This is why it's so important and so necessary, because this person can be trying to warn you, could be trying to find help for themselves, could be trying to find help for their child or a third party, whoever's in the situation involving the narcissist. And instead of taking it as truth for what the person is saying, it can be easily dismissed as gossip. It can be easily dismissed as talking about somebody behind their back, and that you just don't want to be a part of that, or you don't want to have that in your life. And again, absolutely, that's unhelpful for anybody. It's not helpful for anybody in any type of situation, but it is important to discern when somebody is actually telling you the truth and trying to advocate for themselves or for somebody else in a situation where there's absolute abuse happening. And just because you haven't seen that side of that person doesn't mean that isn't who that person truly is, or when you're not looking, that they're not somebody else. And so part of what I teach as well in my Life After Narcissism course is learning how to really differentiate between somebody who is just bitter at life, somebody who is just trying to stir up problems wherever they go, somebody who is trying to cause strife between two or more parties on purpose, and somebody who is actually looking for somebody who can believe them, so that they can get the appropriate help and heal the way that they need to heal from going through what they've been through. All of these things that I'm talking about, one of the main factors that still needs to be taken into consideration and thought about is the way that the narcissist is going to respond, because a lot of times the narcissist will allow things to kind of pile up so that they have a very, what seems to be like very solid case for whatever it is that they're going to do in revenge to that person. So it's easy, for example, for a narcissist who knows that somebody is talking about them behind their back, whether this is somebody who's trying to find help or somebody who's just trying to bring the truth to the surface or whatever, or it could be somebody who's actually talking about them behind their back. But what's easy for the narcissist to do is to then make it about themselves, like, well, I had to cut that person out of my life because they were so toxic. I found out they were talking about me. I found out they were doing this and this and this. And again, it makes the narcissist the victim in this situation, not the actual person who's been dealing with the abuse, but now it's, again, the narcissist who's the victim. I have a video that I did on how the narcissist will spin things to become both God of the situation, so they've created the entire situation, but they're somehow also the victim in that same situation, and they'll use both of these things simultaneously, and you will accept that this is how it is unless you are paying attention and know that this is one of the things that the narcissist will do. A lot of people get so used to the narcissist doing things like this that when you actually step back and look at it, it's like, that doesn't make sense. How could you both be the architect of the situation and the victim in the same situation? But if this is your norm, you don't question it. You don't take that into consideration. And my point of this is to prepare you, because if you are going to try to get help when you are dealing with a narcissist, or you want to advocate for somebody else that you know is in an abusive situation, it's important to understand that this is kind of poking the bear, if you will. This is alerting the narcissist that you know who they are, you know what their tactics are, and one of the things that you should be aware of is that you even speaking up will cause second and third order effects to the situation. So that can include losing close friends and family members who don't believe you, or who just simply don't want to get involved. There's a lot of people who are just fence sitters, who refuse to take a stand for anything, even if one party is clearly wrong and they know that person is wrong. There's still a lot of people who will not do anything about that situation. So this is just stuff for you to think about. It's important that you think about this when you talk about advocating for yourself or advocating for somebody else, or bringing the truth to light, that you can actually be, maybe all you wanted to do was to make your story known or to have your truth be heard or something like that. But inadvertently it caused these other things or these other situations to transpire. And that's what I'm talking about. It's important to understand the narcissist is not going to tolerate, even if they say, that's nonsense, I just don't have time for that. They're not going to tolerate somebody who's talking about them behind their back, or who's trying to tear down the facade that they've created all around themselves that makes them feel safe and in control and powerful. They will not tolerate that. So there can be second and third order effects that are put into place by you speaking up. I just want to quick encourage you to go check out my Life After Narcissism course if you haven't already. It's a playlist on my channel. It's free. You can watch it. It's 12 videos, and each one of them is meant to walk you through a different process of rebuilding your life after you've gone through narcissistic abuse, and that includes knowing who to speak to about your own abuse, so that you're not you don't try to share your truth with somebody who isn't capable or willing to hear what you're saying, and also to be an advocate for others. Learn how to address the issue of abuse in a helpful, positive way with somebody that you suspect is in an abusive situation, or what to do when somebody comes to you and tells you that this is what they're going through. It's important that you're equipped to have those conversations and to know how to help people out of this really destructive cycle, and especially when there's so much gaslighting and destroying of one's identity and even questioning their own memories that go into it. You don't want to cause more damage to somebody when they're trying to get out of that. So in this course, I just kind of go over these things. That way people are equipped to both advocate for themselves in a healthy way and help other people who may be faced with similar situations. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, I'm Dr. Angel Storm, and if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel below and then turn on the little bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel.